So today, the topic of today we are going to talk about is the state of Kenyan film industry. Now, this is a question that was asked by someone, and thank you so much for pulling up the question, because it's something that I want to have such kind of discussions even going forward, so that we can be able to open up our eyes, open up our mind to be able to see the kind of available opportunities that can help us grow, and what we need to understand and what we need to know. You know, there's some statistics and some news that are coming up showing that whatever we are supposed to, whatever the Kenyan film industry is, and we lack, like, who has the data? Who has the data of the Kenyan films that are being done? Who has the data? So if you have the data, or you know someone who has the data, let's reach out, manze. Reach out. We get to have a discussion so that we can be able to show the masses, the audiences, the investors, the stakeholders, what we have as an industry. So I'm going to discuss this topic, or this question, on three aspects. On the aspects of where we are, where we are going, and also the challenges that we are facing, and the available opportunity that we can be able to explore. So to start with, I'm going to talk about, I'm talking as a practitioner, and I'm talking also as an enthusiast of film. So what is keeping us, where is the film industry in Kenya? So number one, it's a growing industry, and it's a very, very lucrative industry, and we are at a position whereby I'm very, very sure we are in a state whereby we are able to create economies out of this. And being that I know we are able to create economies, we have had things like the Mnet, who has been a major contributor, or a major contributor in how we have been telling stories, and how we've been selling stories or telling stories to the world. Netflix has come in, and it has been part of it, like imeifanya tu kidogo, but we have seen impact with things like Showmax and Mnet and DSTV, and even right now we have the mainstream media, which is like Citizen TV, and also these other media channels that they're trying. I can't say they're not trying. They're really trying, but we are seeing that opportunity for growth, and even emerging state of film schools, and even film workshops, festivals, and stuff like that. Like, yeah, we are in a very, very good state when it comes to growth. So we are on it's a very, very lucrative industry that is growing, because we have products that are being streamed on streaming platforms, and YouTube, or on Showmax, on Netflix, on Prime Video. We're looking forward to maybe seeing even projects on Canal Plus and many other spaces where the distribution will allow. So it is a very growing industry, and you need to position yourself, when you're in this industry, you need to position yourself in a place whereby you will be able to just take advantage of the available opportunity that is showcasing at the whichever area that you are in. The other bit I'm going to talk about is the key strengths. Like, production here in Kenya, we have embraced quality, like quality in terms of productions. Like, yani manze, it's a very great thing, because we have people who understand crew roles very well, and they are good at executing the kind of DP, the kind of if you look at the camera work, if you look at the sound, if you look at the storytelling, some of it, not all of it, like some of it, we have very, very nice productions that are being made. And even looking at the fact that we have the rich cultural diversity. Like, we are very diverse in Kenya. Akuna story zitaisha until I don't know when. But guys, another thing that I will really want to urge, especially for people in this part of the country, whereby we tend to copy so much the US people, or maybe the people from the Western countries. We tend to copy so much, even with our music. Man, we just see something and then we copy. We don't have a... Yeah, sometimes it makes me feel bad, because we tend to look. You see, if Amzungu comes and copies how we do things, we will look at them and be like, Manze, we know someone who can do better. So the other day I was telling a class, and I was telling them, like, you see, if we see a mzungu right now, ati a mzungu carrying the kiondo thing, or the water bucket on the head, we are like, huyu anajaribu kukopi wa Afrika. So that is the same thing that wazungu wao wanaona na sisi. So when we try to sing or rap like Kendrick Lamar, man, they have their Kendrick Lamar who does it better. Why can't we do it better on our own scale? Like, why can't we do something, our culture, and we represent it in the best way we can, because we are the owners of that culture. Because we have very rich culture ranging from the various places, from the coastal region, the central region, the Nairobi region, even the western and the Nyanza and even the northeastern. We have rich cultures. And guys, can we tell these stories? Because I believe these stories will be able to take us to, we will be able to export such. Because those stories are the ones we have strength on. They are the strong stories, but we are afraid of telling them. We want to go in a simple scale and just copy the Western cultures in how we do our stories. So please, 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 this is something I will urge all the filmmakers in the house. Let's embrace our culture and let's tell our stories to the world. And this is what will put us onto the global map. People will not watch what we are imitating. We cannot be telling stories in English, yet manze, let's not put our village people to be talking in English that doesn't even resonate to the village. Let us tell stories with our own language. Unaona venye tulikuwa tuna watch movies za Kihindi. Tuna watch movies za Kihindi because they exported to us their culture, and we embraced it and we loved it because it was so authentic and it was so them. Sisi hapa tunataka kuongea kizungu mpaka unapea mnyanya a hard time to cram English so that they can speak in English, to deliver in English. We will dub the languages and take them to the world, but let us record our stories in our own dialect, in our own languages, and start telling the stories of our culture. Because I am very 100% sure there are people in this who are watching this video and they come from a particular community and they don't know the stories and the heroic stories and the journey of their heroes in their communities, and what happens in their communities, and how culture defines them. Me, I'm a Luya. I know from our community we celebrate things to do with Isikuti, that is the music that we sing there, and also the way we do, like the languages we talk, and also the way our staple food is maize. We love ugali so much. We love kuku. They are very good farmers at farming, and we are very good at farming, and also some other things like there are also somebody like Luanda Magere is somebody who came from those parts, and yeah, such kind of stories I know they have not been told very well, or maybe documented very nicely, so that people, generations in the future, maybe I want my great grandchild to be watching me and also watching the stories about our culture, because I know because we are intermarrying, so mtoto atashindwa kukua mimi mama yangu alikuwa Mkikuyu, baba yangu akakuwa Mjaluo, na mwingine mama yangu ni Masai na wameishi town, na baba yangu ni Msomali, so wameishi town, so hata hawajui languages. So but it's good, we need to explore the cultural diversity, because that is our strength and we need to embrace that. Then there's another thing that is uprising young talent. We have a very rich talent of people, a couple of people who are able to work in sets as crew and even as cast. So the young talent is very vibrant and very growing, and that's a very good opportunity because they offer employment and positioning of opportunities for just having that required labor in the marketplace. Because I'm sure we cannot be doing films without the people behind the scenes. We will not be importing labor. We don't import labor. We have the labor here Oh my man, like we have the labor here, man. Yes, we have young people who have gone to film school, a majority of them who have learned through YouTube, who have learned through various spaces, workshops, and even festivals. And these are rich talents that we have here. So hakuna excuse ni tupige sinema, because hautasema ati hatuna DOP, hatuna mtu wa sound, hatuna sijui nini. Si kama kitambo. You know, kitambo we used to shoot movies that were being shot in Africa or in Kenya. Movies were being shot, alafu zinaenda kuprocessiwa in another country, for example the editing bit, because they were shot in film and there were no film cutting machines that were used that were in Kenya at that moment to edit the movies. Right now we have everything. There is no excuse. We have to tell the stories, man. We have everything. So the availability of the young talent and the passionate filmmakers who are coming from film school and others from YouTube and in YouTube's universities, guys, it's a very, very lucrative space. And also, I can say a little bit of government support. You know, we have a government that I think supports. It doesn't support 100%. Don't throw stones at me yet. So, but we are in a space whereby, you see, we are producing content. We have social media where we are posting content, and we can be able to tell any type of a story. Any type. Whether we are attacking government, nobody is preventing you from doing your stories. So if you have been prevented, tuonane hapa kando. But anyway, I'm a patriotic Kenyan, and I love the way we have the freedom to tell the stories that we intend to tell. So don't complain as unajua serikali imenizuia siwezi shoot story. No guys, man, you can shoot, you can go. Even if you don't want to engage the government, go and talk to the people, the local authorities. On my previous video where I was talking about the legal requirements for you to do a film, and maybe you don't have the money to get the license necessary for you to do the film, you can be able to go and ask for a waiver as a Kenyan. I know the person seated in that office is a Kenyan, and they will know. You will explain to them what you intend to do with the movie, and they will come through and support you. I don't think they have the hard heart of saying like, sasa wewe unaenda kushoot movie tutakucharge pesa, like, and stuff like that. So it's only that we fear asking, because of the fear of asking. And when we began this year, nilisema hakuna kuogopa msi. Hakuna kuogopa. Wewe tuende nalo, enda uongee na hawa, enda uongee na ofisi zile relevant offices, and ask for opportunities, or ask how they can be able to come in and support, because I'm sure the offices will be able to support. Not in kind, in form of money, because most of them, they don't understand. But if they give me a conducive environment, they give me the letters, authority letters, authorization letters, permission letters, to allow me to do my filming very nicely, and also just to have that freedom of doing it in my own country. That is a plus. And we don't need to tusikalie hiyo kitu. Sawa guys? Sawa. The other thing that we need to look at now is, I'm looking at it in form of the ongoing challenges, okay? So, of course, kuna hizo challenges ambazo zimetokea, zinafanya maybe the industry stagnate sana at the same level. So, number one challenge is inakuaga mostly ni funding. So, funding has been an issue, and I believe because so much we depend on grants, or maybe the other financing methods, like from stakeholders and even executive producers, people who understand production, that can be able to finance a production. I believe if we work on a solution of maybe collaborating and working together with different stakeholders, we can be able to change the narrative and overcome the issue of funding, because I know funding is very important. But right now we also need to understand you can make your film cheaply. You don't need the huge funds, budgets for you to do a movie. You can be able to do it in a sustainable manner, and you just be able to find a way of selling it or distributing it so that it can bring more money, so that you can continue to venture into the space or the sector. The other thing is we have a lot of distribution challenge because of we see very few movies that are coming through that are coming out maybe on platforms that we are very common with, like Netflix, Showmax. We have very few movies that are coming through, and we've, especially on the recent past, we've had very few movies that have been released in Kenya, and we really need to have a plan of how we can be able to work around distribution, because of course in distribution we normally have movies go for premieres. So movie may premiere, after me premiere ni hivo, so there's no screening, like you cannot follow up the movie and watch it later on the cinema. And also these cinema spaces, we have very few cinema spaces across the country, and even the cinema going culture has changed. Hey manze guys, we see, sijui tutafanyaje, but that is something we need to really identify and work around. And if it's building up communities or setting up cultures where people can be able to change and go, that is something, that's a discussion and a conversation we need to have. The other thing is the infrastructure, like the infrastructure of making the films. Yeah, I know I've said in the previous, we have that space here whereby when I was talking about the strengths, we have a lot of film schools, we have the crew people who are able to tell the stories very nicely, but I see the most important thing that we lack, especially when it comes to filmmaking, is on the infrastructure of post-production. We have a very big challenge on that because we rely so much on a few people, and some of them maybe they don't have the proper machinery for them to cut the stories, or maybe to edit the story in a global for a global consumption. And when I'm talking about global consumption, it doesn't mean that it means the codecs, like the codecs, the resolutions, and even the formats that we are sending on cinemas, and even the sounds that we are doing. There are very few people who are doing that, and we have a very big problem with on post-production, and also even the skilled people. We have very few of them who are coming out of schools, and then they are just absorbed into the various spaces. And then some of them who lack the opportunity to venture into the sector, they go do other things. So unapata mtu alisoma film school for 2 years, 1 year, but akishatoka, because hakuna job opportunity yenye anafanya hiyo kazi, unapata umse ameenda kukua cashier kwa supermarket, anaendesha boda, unamuuliza ulifanya, nilifanya film. Now because there is no opportunity, so they end up going into those spaces, and you can't blame anyone. It's just like that there is lack of opportunity for them to be able to venture in whatever they went to school to study. So I think if we have spaces or people who can invest into these things, we can be able to have we will have a very robust industry, and we will be able to change the narrative of maybe just people looking at film as I don't like categorizing film as content creation. This is something big. It is something very big, because when you look at the kind of people who are employed through the whole thing, it's very massive. It's very massive. So because we normally have from the start of scripting all the way to pre-production, into production, and going into post-production, we have a lot of people, and there's a lot that goes on into the making of a film. So it's not something that you just wake up and go shoot. It's something that you need to do a lot of and proper planning when it comes to filmmaking. So I will talk about infrastructure maybe another time, but we need to, whatever we have, let's invest and let's show the stakeholders what we have, the capabilities and strength we have, so that the people who are looking forward to invest into these things, we need to have them in place. Because I know the other day we heard, like Mkuru was talking about, we don't have an auditorium whereby we can host even a number of more than 20,000 people seated in a room just watching. We don't have that. We don't have that such kind of spaces. We don't. Even the stadiums are very open. It's only that they are now constructing the Talanta Stadium, which will hold a capacity of 60,000 plus people. And I believe maybe being that Talanta will host, we'll have maybe some other time when people will be able to have such spaces to hold concerts and stuff like that. But yeah, I think infrastructure is a very, very key thing that we lack, and especially we don't have cinemas in all the counties. We have cinemas only on, let's say, Mombasa, Kisumu, and Nairobi, and Eldoret. So in those 4 counties, we have cinemas. And being that we have cinemas in those counties and we want to showcase a story, and this story is very, very relevant to the people of Nakuru, now I can't be able to go to Nakuru and showcase, because that market, how will I be able to tap into that market? Because I don't have, there is no infrastructure or well-prepared infrastructure or setups that can be able to bring the movies to the audiences. So you end up like just going to, maybe just go take them to YouTube or online spaces penye watu wamekuwa wakienda siku hizi, and let people watch from there. But you wanted to do a meet and greet with your actors, you can't do it in maybe Nakuru, in Turkana, in Wajir, in Nyeri. Yeah, so we need to work on that. And if there are investors out here who are really, really passionate about filmmaking, invest in such spaces. And I'm guaranteeing you that being a practitioner in the industry, we won't fail to bring content, to bring films, to tell our own stories and showcase them into the cinemas across the country. Yeah. So the other thing is the emerging opportunities. Like, what are some of the emerging opportunities that are coming up in the state of, as I talk about the state of film industry in Kenya? Some of the emerging opportunities, kuna digital platforms, the arising of digital platforms. Of course, there's YouTube, the local VODs, people are setting up websites where they're able to sell their movies, and also social media outlets, and yes, sometimes people do their own personal screening across the country. So there's that arising of digital platforms has really, really played a very key role in also just defining the state of film industry in Kenya. The other thing is we have co-productions, like there is co-production whereby there are partnerships. People from different counties are partnering, or the other countries are coming into this country and partnering with productions in this country to tell the stories and also do films. And this one has really, really created a very, very good buzz and also helped the industry to grow. Looking at the recent one, the MTV Sugar, it is an MTV Sugar is a Staying Alive Foundation, just came into the country, and they are doing now, they are doing MTV Sugar. And when they did the MTV Sugar, they were able to partner very well with the people from this country who the practitioners, especially the practitioners and production houses, and that one, it really, really made sense into now the industry in the direction which it is heading. So also looking at the maybe some things to do with it, we've seen other organizations like NGOs who have really, really partnered with filmmakers to make content, to tell maybe certain stories, or maybe to do educate the society through certain issues. And we've seen such kind of co-productions working so well, and they have really, really helped improve the state of film industry in Kenya. So in conclusion, that is the state of the film industry as per my observations and as per things that have happened across the country and across the industry in terms of how we are growing and what is expected of us in terms of filmmaking and telling stories through film. So being that we are in this rising state, I urge you are a practitioner, you are a member who is an enthusiast, come in and join this buzz as we continue to rise through the levels of the film industry in this country. And I know it's going to be a major contributor to the GDP of this country in a few years, and we are going to experience great surge of economic rise through this sector. So don't give up yet. It's not yet time to give up. I know people will be asking like, oh, unajua najaribu sana kufanya hiki kitu lakini sioni kama itajipa aje. Yes, let's plant the seed. We might be the planters. The people to enjoy are our grandchildren or our children. So we might be the planters. So don't give up the seed yet. We don't want our children also to be the planters again. They can start blaming us. Like unajua wazazi wetu ndo walikuwa wapande na hawajapanda. So kindly let's continue with the conversation. And that's my thought, and that's what I had to share for during this conversation today. And I'll continue bringing more conversations, especially on these matters, so that we can have an understanding where the industry is heading and what is required of us. So at the moment, let's take advantage of the available opportunities that are there, and let's keep moving. Thank you so much, and join me on to the next video. Cheers.